This is an introduction to jiggers. A jigger is just a compact, self-contained mechanical advantage system. So one example is the Jag here, the Petzl Jag. And the Jag, you can kind of barely see, has 5 strands, 4 strands inside the mesh containment system, and then 1 strand outside. On one end down here, there's a double pulley. You can kind of get a look at it a little bit there. There's a double pulley. And on the other end, there's a double pulley that has a progress capture built in. So when we pull rope up through this, it makes the whole thing smaller and keeps itself small. And then if we want to extend it back out, we have to actually release this and then pull back out. Because of the way the mechanical advantage is set up in this thing depends to which end is connected to the anchor, so whether you get a 4-to-1 mechanical advantage or a 5-to-1 mechanical advantage. For most purposes, the 4 or 5 doesn't matter as much as the ergonomics of which way you actually pull. So if I want to pull down on the anchor this way, then it's going to make more sense to connect it this way. This happens to be the way I get a 5-to-1. If I, for whatever reason, if it makes more sense in my setup to be pulling in this orientation, then I pull way against, kind of towards the anchor and away from whatever, in the direction that I want the thing to move. So choose the orientation based on which way you want to actually pull. If I have weight on the system here and I'm pulling something up, hauling it up, in order to actually release it, I can't release this under tension, so I have to pull just a tiny bit, and then I can release, right? If I pull just a tiny bit, I can release. Pull just a tiny bit on here, pull tiny bit, release, and then pull it out. There it is, exactly. And so, of course, holding this is controlling how quickly I lower down, and the Jag has, the Jags that we have here are able to extend however far this is, I don't know, what is that, 2 meters or so, before they max out on capacity with length. Great, that's the Jag. Let's take a look at the Aztec. The Aztec is contained in this bag. It's a very similar kind of a system as the Jag. The double pulley system is on the outside here, and as we take a look at it, we can see that the ropes are not contained within that little mesh system that the Jag is, for better and for worse. So we've got swivel pulleys on either end and double swivel pulleys. That's pretty nice. Again, we choose which way makes sense to pull. And then with the Aztec, we also have the capability of choosing which end we want to be the progress capture. So I have it set up currently so that I'm pulling down this way, and I have the progress capture with this prusik rather than a mechanical grab with the Jag. I have a prusik that works as the progress capture and locking mechanism, and it's set up on the moving end, on the traveling end. If I want to set it up so that I have the progress capture on the other end, we can see it's color coded. This blue prusik attaches to this pulley. If I want to have it set up on the other end up here, I'm going to use the orange prusik. I'll take this little knob, this little cotter pin, I guess you call it. Pull that out. Don't drop it. Bring it over here, and we'll do it instead. We'll do it like this. That's better. Okay, locked in. Great. And so now I'm still pulling in this orientation, but my progress capture is up on this side. So if I'm up here, and that's the place I'm going to actually stay, then that'll allow me to manage my progress capture and my lock on this end. Not having the containment mesh system on this makes it so that these things are more likely to get twisted around and get tangles in them and such like that. The flip side is on that mesh system, sometimes the mesh does get caught in the pulleys or the progress capture. Sometimes if it really locks up on the mesh, it might be because it's actually locked in there. That doesn't happen with this, so take your pick there either way. And then this little unit here has all the extra has all the extra cord for the Aztec, and the Aztec has more cord available and will allow, you're able to extend this further than the Jag. It has, I don't know, however, it'll go out 5 meters or something, so quite a bit further. Having this little contained unit allows me to put this on my harness if I'm actually using it close by and keep all that, so it's nicely operable. I can use these these jiggers, whether it be the Jag or the Aztec, for a variety of different kinds of things that I need mechanical advantage for. Maybe it's passing a knot on a raise or on a lower. Maybe it's changing the orientation of a litter. Maybe it's doing a piggyback system for whatever reason I might need that. So they're pretty self-contained units that allow us to have full strength and good mechanical advantage, easily accessible.